Hey folks, welcome to another weekly tip from SHIFTLog. We're going to continue from what we have started last week. If you recall, we talked about SAP Asset Performance Management, APM in short, particularly about sensors, how APM draws in sensor readings from the field, from the equipments, how they are presented in the system so that the reliability engineers can take the right decisions at the right time. We looked at alerts, which are the prompts generated automatically by the system based on an anomaly detected or a violation of upper or lower limit, which is what we call the condition-based maintenance. Not only that, we also looked at how this reading could be used to forecast failures into the future. All these things we looked at last week were within an equipment master. If I'm checking one particular equipment, this is how the sensor readings are presented, projected into the future, and alerts are generated. But being a reliability engineer, I can't be just checking each and every equipment every day. That's why monitoring alerts function comes in, where all the alerts generated for the entire organization covering all the assets are collated into one single place. There are different types of alerts generated. Critical alerts automatically creates notifications. Let's look at one such alert, which already has a notification behind it. You could see all the basic information about the equipment as well as the type of alert, and also the fact that why the alert has been generated has been provided in one single place for the reliability engineer to have an understanding. The beauty of this type of alert is that even if reliability engineer doesn't do anything, notification gets generated, as you see, which gets into the queue of the gatekeepers, planners to progress from that point on. You can also set up warning type of alerts as well. They do not go and create notifications automatically. However, the reliability engineer can forcefully create a notification if he or she sees that it's fitting to do so. One question that we get asked quite often by our clients is whether creating notifications can be controlled from the alerts. Absolutely yes. In the example that you have seen, you've seen that there are two types of alerts set up, one critical alert, the other one warning alert. If it's a critical alert, that goes and creates a notification. The warning alert is just a warning, but the reliability engineer can decide there if there are too many warnings to go and create a notification. The moment the notifications are created, it's by the reliability engineer or automatically, that gets to the same queue of the gatekeeper team to look at them and then progress from that point onwards to remediate the issues. Another question that is commonly asked is whether someone has to log into the system to see the alerts. Absolutely not. We can configure the system so that they are sent as emails or text, whichever the way you prefer. Up to this point, what we have looked at is how sensor readings are used to generate alerts. You could call it as condition-based maintenance. Also, project failures in the future. That is more predictive maintenance. But that's not the only option available within APM to predict failures in the future. SAP APM can look at all your breakdown data, notifications, catalog codes, and predict failures using algorithms. What you're looking at is a control system failure of this particular gas compressor predicted on November 2025. You could also see a thermal failure predicted on 14 June 2025. So now we have seen two failures predicted in the future. What would you do? I'm sure you must be thinking about this. How would the reliability engineer react? There are a number of different ways of handling that. The easiest is to go ahead and create a recommendation. You see all the recommendations that have come as a result of such things are listed over here. I can very well go ahead and create a new recommendation from this point onwards, which could be a procedural change, a process change, or it could very well be a fine-tuning or altogether coming up with a new strategy. All these options are available for the reliability engineer to initiate from here. Once you do that, there's full transparency to everyone because it's the same SAP system that you're working on. A better, more formal approach could be something like a failure mode effect analysis, which APM fully caters. You can go ahead and initiate a failure mode effect analysis and look at the failure modes, the predictions have been provided for. I'm not going to go into the details of failure mode effect analysis right now because we have covered this in the earlier episodes of the series. If you are interested in seeing more details on failure mode effect analysis, please visit the relevant SHIFTlog episode covering that. That's it for today, folks. Hope it has been helpful. I'm sure by now you have a good understanding about SAP APM's predictive maintenance as well as condition-based maintenance capabilities. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.